The banging on my garage doors sounded like someone was trying to smash their way in with a battering ram. I set my coffee on the counter and made my way toward the racket, already pretty sure who it was. Through the glass panel beside the door, I could make out Patricia Dalton, the self-declared queen of our neighborhood HOA, red in the face and shouting about a stolen car. Her teenage son, Tyler, stood behind her with his arms folded, smirking like he was watching a show he'd directed. "Open this door right now," Patricia screeched. "I know you're hiding stolen property. The police are on their way." That last part made me smile. If only she had the slightest idea who she was dealing with. I grabbed my badge from the kitchen island, clipped it to my belt, and instead of opening the garage, I calmly opened the front door. The look on her face when she saw me standing there, utterly unbothered, was almost worth the weeks of nonsense. But let me rewind and explain how we got to this point. Just 3 weeks earlier, I'd moved into Riverside Heights, a well-manicured, HOA-monitored suburban neighborhood. I'd just accepted a new role as chief of police for our city. After 2 decades of apartment living and rising through the ranks, I finally bought myself a home. Nothing extravagant, just a comfortable 3-bedroom with a double garage. A perfect space for me and the one possession I valued more than any other. A fully restored 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429 in grabber blue. That car wasn't just a vehicle. It was the last major project my father and I worked on together before cancer claimed him. We poured 5 years of time, sweat, and love into it. Every nut and bolt held a memory. I'd driven it only 3 times since moving in, each time attracting admiring glances from nearly everyone, except Patricia Dalton. She lived a few houses down with her son, and from the moment I arrived, she made it crystal clear that she saw herself as the neighborhood's reigning monarch. The very first time I met her, she marched up my driveway in white capris and a navy blazer, handed me a thick, labeled binder titled HOA Guidelines and Expectations, and scolded me for letting my moving truck remain parked 2 minutes past the allowed window. "We run a very tight ship here," she said, smiling like a vulture. "I hope you'll prove to be a cooperative addition." I nodded, took the binder, and said absolutely nothing about my profession. I've always preferred to keep my work and personal life separate, and I wasn't interested in getting special treatment from neighbors who might act differently around a police chief. Everything went downhill in week 2. I was out in the garage buffing the chrome on the Mustang when Tyler, her 17-year-old, wandered up like he owned the block. Dressed in designer gear with zero respect, he strolled right up my driveway. "Nice ride," he said, placing his hand on the fender like he was testing the paint. "V8 429 Cobra Jet?" I replied, gently moving his hand off the car. "Just polished that." His eyes lit up. I knew that look. Entitled. Expectant. Spoiled. "You should let me take it around the block," he said. "I got my license last month." I almost laughed. "You've been driving for 30 days and want to test drive a 400 horsepower classic? Sorry, kid. This car doesn't go anywhere without me behind the wheel." His smile disappeared. "My dad pays a lot into the HOA," he said, puffing up. "That means he owns part of the street, which technically makes me part owner of everything on it." I blinked. That logic was so warped I couldn't even respond for a moment. "That's not how any of this works," I finally said. Tyler scoffed and stormed off. 20 minutes later, his mother was at my door in full-blown combat mode, HOA pin glinting on her lapel, heels clacking across my porch. "Mr. Morrison," she said stiffly, skipping any greeting, "my son tells me you were rude to him." I told him he couldn't drive my car. That's all. She narrowed her eyes. Tyler is a very respectful young man. When a neighbor shows interest in something, it's customary to be accommodating. We're a community. "Ma'am, that car is a vintage machine worth more than most people's salaries. I don't even let my best friend drive it." "Well," she said with a huff, "we'll just have to make sure that vehicle is compliant with HOA standards. I'll be reviewing the rulebook tonight." And review she did. Within days, I started receiving formal violation notices from the HOA, each more absurd than the last. The car was too noisy, despite never being run while she was around. The color was too vibrant, supposedly a hazard to traffic. One letter even classified it as a commercial vehicle because it could be used for racing. I replied to each one with calm, lawyer-level precision, citing actual HOA regulations and dismantling each bogus claim. But the more I proved her wrong, the more furious she became. Then came Saturday. I was mowing the front lawn when Tyler returned, this time with backup. Two of his buddies flanked him, and they swaggered up like they were casing the place. "Hey, Mr. Morrison," Tyler said cheerfully, fake as a plastic plant. "Thought maybe you'd changed your mind about that ride. Just a quick spin." "Still no, Tyler." One of the friends stepped forward, a linebacker-looking teen in a football jersey. "Come on, man. Don't be such a hard ass. It's just a car." That's when I let a little of my professional voice leak out. The kind that ends arguments in courtrooms and calms chaos at crime scenes. "Time to head home, boys. Conversation's over." They left. But not before Tyler shot me a glare like this was far from finished. It wasn't. An hour later, Patricia was back, and this time she brought her husband, Richard. Poor guy looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. "You threatened my son," she shrieked. "We could sue you for emotional trauma." Richard winced. I'd looked him up. Tax lawyer, probably hadn't seen a courtroom in a decade. "Ma'am," I replied, "I asked them to leave my driveway. That's within my legal right." "Oh, we'll see about that," she snapped. "The HOA board will be hearing about this." Apparently, they did. I skipped the meeting, but my next-door neighbor Janet gave me the rundown. Patricia spent nearly an hour ranting about the dangerous influence I was bringing, complete with a PowerPoint on street racing. She used the word hooligan, Janet said between laughs. She said your car is a magnet for delinquents. I told her the only people causing problems were her and Tyler. She didn't take it well. From there, the petty harassment kicked into high gear. Notes appeared on my windshield. My trash cans were mysteriously knocked over every week. Someone filed a complaint with the city about my grass being slightly too tall. Then came the day. I was sipping my morning coffee when I saw them, Tyler and his friends again, taking selfies with my car through the garage window. I stepped outside. "Tyler, leave. Now. It's just for social media, bro," he said. "My followers love vintage whips. Get off my property." Tyler's face turned red. "You don't even deserve that car. You're too old to appreciate it. I bet you don't even know how to drive it." "Tyler," I said, activating my full chief tone. "Leave, or I'm calling the police." He smirked. "Too late. My mom already did. She found out your name isn't on the registration. Said it was probably stolen. Police will be here any minute." And right on cue, sirens wailed down the street. 3 squad cars rolled up, lights flashing. Patricia emerged from her front door, practically glowing with smug triumph. "There he is," she shouted. "That's the thief." What she didn't expect was who stepped out of those cars. Officers Martinez, Davidson, Thompson, and a rookie named Patel. All from my department. The moment Martinez saw me, his eyebrows hit the roof. "Chief Morrison?" he asked, stunned. "Morning, Martinez," I said. "Nice day, isn't it?" Patricia's face went white. "Chief? What? What do you mean?" "Chief." Davidson stepped forward. "Ma'am, this is our boss. He's the city's chief of police." The silence was delicious. Patricia stammered. Tyler backpedaled toward the sidewalk. Richard looked like he wanted to evaporate. "But, the car, it's not in his name." "It belonged to my father," I said. "He passed away 6 months ago. I inherited it and haven't updated the title yet. Want to see the will?" Martinez turned to me. "Would you like a report filed, sir?" "Yes," I said calmly. "False 911 call. Harassment. An attempted misuse of emergency resources. Let's document everything." Thompson activated his body cam. Patel focused on Tyler. "You involved in this, son?" "Yeah." Tyler barked, puffing up again. "So what? He's been a jerk since he moved in. My mom owns this block." "Tyler, stop talking." Richard finally snapped. "We'll sue the whole department," Tyler shouted. By then, neighbors had gathered to watch the spectacle unfold. Patricia was handed a citation for the false report. Tyler was given a formal warning for trespassing and harassment. The footage? Captured from 3 body cams. Crystal clear. "You called in an emergency," I told Patricia. "Because your son didn't get his way. That's not neighborhood safety. That's manipulation. Richard whispered a shaken apology as he ushered his wife and son away. Janet, who had witnessed everything, strolled over. Well, that was better than reality TV. Can't wait for the emergency HOA meeting tomorrow. And oh, what a meeting it was. The footage went viral online. Memes. Parodies. Tyler became a joke. Patricia's reputation? Shattered. At the HOA emergency session, neighbor after neighbor stood up with stories of petty fines, bullying, and abuse. By unanimous vote, Patricia was removed as president. On her way out, she tried one final threat. "You'll regret this," she spat. "I made this neighborhood." "No," Janet said, rising. "You made it a nightmare. Now we can finally breathe." Patricia fled. Richard stayed behind, apologizing to everyone. He said they'd be selling the house. As for Patricia, she was fined $8,000 and sentenced to 50 hours of community service. The judge didn't mince words. This was not civic concern. This was malicious, calculated abuse of law enforcement. And just like that, the self-crowned queen of Riverside Heights was dethroned by her own arrogance. And a Mustang.